Okay. Alright, I need to quickly do it. Sorry. Alright. I'm back. Alright, the dress are now supposed to ready up. I only need to go to party. Quick. Alright, so, well, BPRL Season 5, Round 10 in Netherlands. The Dutch circuit. I'm doing this in a rush because I have to go eat. So the Dutch circuit has the length of 4.259 kilometers, number of laps 36, race distance around 153 kilometers. So the Dutch track has 14 corners, 2 DRS zones, and it's very tricky to master, since there are very difficult braking zones and very difficult traction zones, which is very difficult to get the traction right on the exits of the corners, especially turn 3, turn 9, 10, 12 and 13. I mean, not actually 12, but it's still very tricky. As the first car out on track, it's Aston Martin of I think that is a Aston Martin of Mormonic, who is reserving for Aston Martin now. Then there was a Haas of Diego. Then a few more cars out on track. Pets now out on track in the Williams, as well as Hennessy in the Williams. Coke in the McLaren. Then Sparko, well, not actually Sparko, as Williams, that is, Pets went wide, turn 2. Very weird stuff, but the best overtaking places around Zandvoort are turn 1, turn 11, maybe turn 3, but other than that, turn 1 and turn 11 are the best overtaking places. Anywhere else, you're taking a small risk in that if you're gonna try and overtake in the twisty sections. As Mormonic has just now started his first flying up, as was Diego. Confused. Need to get into this rhythm of commentating now. As Mormonic's first sector is gonna be 25.700. Diego's first sector is gonna be 25.812. So Mormonic at the moment is on a faster time than Diego through the first sector. Into the second sector for both of those drivers. Mormonic into turn 10. You don't want to hit that inside curb, the outside curb a little bit, not as much as Mormonic did. Second sector 51.973. For Diego it's gonna be 51.866. I think still Mormonic is on a faster time as Alfie has spun himself on the curb in between turn 8 and 9, as he's now stuck on the curb and he uses the reset to track. Mormonic, I think, has invalidated his time and he is off track. Diego, in the meantime, goes fastest 114.881. And the next should be Hennessy coming across the line, and he goes fastest 112.107. 2.7 seconds faster than Diego. Next car Sparko, actually Pet, going second 113.280. Now Matt is second 113.047. Sparko fourth 114.251. Diego dropping down to fifth. Coke, a very bad lap of 123.023. Next car coming across the line, it should be it's Hudson, but he's starting his flying lap. Alfie going into the pits. Josh goes second 112.768 in the Alpine. There are many reserves, if I remember right. Josh for the Alpine, Sparko for AlphaTauri, Laziri for Ferrari, Mormonic to Aston Martin, Jack to McLaren, I think. Then Hudson to Mercedes, and Marcin for Alfa Romeo. Now it goes 7th, 115.884, 1 second behind Diego, his teammate. But now it is on the Inters, and he's only 1 second behind Diego. Not a bad lap by now on the Inter tire. Gravity has made a 2 minute 12.367 time, and he has a broken front wing as well. Hudson goes 6th, 114.629, 1.6 seconds behind Matt, as Reggie goes fastest 111.309 01, and a bit of an update on the previous race that was in Hungary. So Lamas got a 5-second time penalty, which dropped him to 4th place, giving Reggie the P1 and Shaza P2, if I remember right. So a Red Bull 1-2, and Hennessy up into 3rd, giving Williams a podium place, but the curse has been demolished. So now Reggie is the first driver to do a pole position and a race win on the same weekend this season. And Lamas dropped down to 4th as he's in here. He's replaced by the Laziri. Coke up to 6th, 113.658 on the used mediums, 3-lap used mediums. Jack's letting through drivers. Shazza goes 2nd, 111.420. Who has nothing else happened. Nothing else happened. And less than 11 minutes to go in this Q1. There are still 7 drivers to do a lap. As ahead of Coke, there are yellow flags. That is for an Aston Martin of Mormonic letting through drivers. Jack made a mistake on the exit of turn 13, and now he's has interrupted Mormonic's run to the finish line so that he could confidently do a lap. The Chaz as well causing yellow flags into turn 11, letting past Diego, who isn't on a flying lap. I think he's on an out lap actually. We will see if he's on an out lap. Well, but the ERS, I can see that he's on an out lap. Yeah, he was on an out lap. Matt coming across the line. He was on an out lap. Martin gets a 5-place grip penalty with collision with Sparko. Sparko could have gotten the penalty as well, but we only got a notification from the race directors that Martin got a 5-place grid penalty. Martin at the moment is lost without a time. Laziri goes 5th, 112.883. So a decent Q1 time by Laziri. I think Laziri is a Division 2 driver. I don't really follow Division 2. I don't know. I mean, I don't race there or commentate there, so sort of a good reason. Laziri and wide in turn on the exit of turn 8. Pet goes 6th in the Williams, 113.006, slotting himself between Matt and Laziri. Diego going 10th, 114.037, going ahead of Diego but behind Coke. Cook is still 9th after he did his times on the inters. There's still quite some few drivers yet to do a lap. Gravity still is, well, he has done a lap, but a 2 minute 12, it's not the best. It's very bad. Actually, Gemini starts his flying lap. Romanic first sector 25.652, second sector 51.472. So he's on a better time than on the first lap that he invalidated. Going into turn 13, you don't want to hit that inner curb, and on the outside you don't want to take too much of the curb, and through turn 14 easy flat. And coming across the line, Mormonic goes 10th, 113.994 ahead of Diego, but still behind Coke. Staying in 9th, George in the meantime 50.468, took a little bit of that inside curb, unsealing his car a little bit, taking a tighter line through the last corner, and coming across the line he goes 4th, 112.434, going ahead of Josh, or actually now Matt, who has settled to P5, 112.671, but George is still behind Hennessy. Romanic wide in turn 7 as Gemini goes 10th, 113.179, 3,000 behind Alfie, but half a second ahead of Coke. Still Noise, Marcin, and, well, Gravity has done a time, but like I'm saying, it's not the best times that I've seen. Now has started his flying lap on the softs, on the brand new softs. Noise coming out from the pits. Sparker going 9th, 113.135, just ahead of Alfie, but still behind Pet. The Williams pair, but the Williams lineup looks now strong, as Pet is doing a decent job in Q1. He's now 8th, and Hennessy going from a Haas to back to Williams that he was in season 3, and I guess he feels a lot better in the Williams. Margin on the flyer 25.354 through the first sector. Romanic did at 25.425 or something like that, so he's now going faster than Mormonic, so he's gonna be like 13th, well, yeah, out of Mormonica at the moment. As now it goes fourth, 112.245 in the Haas. Matt retires in the pits. Marching through the second sector, 50.436. So he's definitely faster than Mormonica at the moment. Noise has started his flying lap, marching through turn 13. As he spins on the exit, took too much of the outside curb, and his car bottomed out, I guess, at the same time, and he has spun and lost the entire lap. Noise through the first sector, 24.958, and now on the second sector, turn 9, good. Turn 10, took a little bit of the inside curb, which is not ideal, and in the second sector, 49.883 into turn 11 and 12, took an early apex, and then into turn 13, just a tiniest bit of the inside curb, and through turn 14, easy flats, and coming across the line. Where is he gonna go? He's gonna go third, 111.568, ahead of Hennessy, but still behind Shaza. Martin is yet to do a time with 3.5 minutes to go. At the moment, it's Mormonic, Diego, Jack, Gravity, and Martin who wouldn't go into Q2. But Hudson is in the danger of not getting in, as he's 15th, so the last driver who would go into Q2. Martin exiting his pits. Gravity on an outlap still. Jack, wait, yellow flag, I guess. Diego is improving through the first sector to 25.489 through the first sector. Jack letting through a Ferrari of Noise. Diego through the second sector. Looks good. I guess he had a bit of a wobble on the exit of turn 9, or maybe that just lag. Didn't take the apex in turn 10. And into the second sector, 51.126. Over half a tenth gained through the second sector. So that will put him ahead of Coke. So P14, and through the last sector, and now through the last corner, easy flat, taking a tight line, and coming across the line, he goes 14th, 113.256. But there's still Gravity, who has spun on his probably final flying time. Martin has started his flying lap. Jack has invalidated his one, as Gravity gets a 5-place grid penalty. Collision with Coke. Where's Coke even? I don't think they make contact or whatever, but alright. Coke is starting his flying lap. Marching through the first sector where I didn't see his split time. But Jack and Gravity, they have invalidated their flying laps. Gravity doesn't seem to be... Well, if I could see the time, 1 minute 20 might be... Well, I don't know if he's gonna make another lap or not. Coke through the first sector. The Noise retires on the pits. Coke through the first sector is improving by 4/10 through the first sector. Alfie is gonna start his final flying lap. Mormonic through the first sector didn't improve. He didn't improve through the first sector. Marching goes only 15th to 113.309. So he's in danger of not making it into Q3 as he spins on the exit of turn 1. Coke to the second sector is improving by almost a second. So if Coke doesn't spin, doesn't invalidate his time, Martin is going to be out of Q1. Coke taking a casual line through the last corner and coming across the line. He goes 5th, 112.173, pushing Martin down to the bottom 15. So Martin is not in. Alfie is still improving. Mormonic hasn't improved. Jack is improving through the second sector, and now coming across the line. Where is he gonna go? He's gonna go only 17th, and he's not gonna make it into Q2. Sorry, Alfie now through the line he comes, and he goes 17th, so he's not making it as well. Diego has ended his time, so he has to now pray that Gravity isn't on a flying lap or that good of, and he isn't. Mormonic not improving to the first sector at all. 1.5 tenths lost. Doesn't have much ERS either. Through the second sector. Is he improving? No, he isn't. He's almost 4 tenths down, and he's invalidated his time. Martin isn't on a flying lap, so Diego has made it into Q2 barely, only half a tenth out of Martin. So it is Diego first, Shaza second, and Noise third. Like usual. Then it's Hennessy, Coke, Naud, George, Matt, Josh, Gemini, Laziri, Pet, Sparko, Alfie, and Diego, who made it into Q2. Martin, Hudson, Jack, Mormonic, and Gravity did not make it into Q2, as it was Gravity who had the 5 place grid penalty, as well as it was someone, I think it was Martin, who had the 5 place grid penalty as well. So Martin is gonna start behind Mormonic, so he's gonna be 19th. Gravity will be 20th. So Hudson will be starting 16th, Jack 17th, and Mormonic 18th. Then it will be Martin. My hand is numbing from holding my microphone. But it is Reggie, fastest in Q1. Sparko didn't get a 5 place grid penalty, but Martin and Gravity did get. So yeah, Martin is going to be starting 19th. That promotes Hudson to P16, Jack to P17, Mormonic to P18, then it's Martin, and then Gravity, who has a 5 place grid penalty as well. And this is the end of Q1. And in few seconds, we are going to be going into Q2. Both of the Williamses made it. So one Alfa Romeo, one Mercedes, one McLaren, one Aston Martin, and one AlphaTauri did not make it. So both Haas's made it. Both Williamses made it as well. Yeah, very good by you, Coke. Very good. But you have to still qualify into Q3. That's the thing as well. You have to qualify into Q3. And obviously everyone wants to go into Q3 and get points. When the lower teams is like in the lower teams, and if it's like realistic, I mean, Hennessy is in the Williams, but he's doing miracles in that, as he's probably the quickest driver in this league, as he's shown in Prestige. But still, if we would look like at on paper, I'd say that the back markers like Aston Martin and Williams, they would be, and maybe Haas, I don't know, they would be fighting, they would be lucky to go into Q3 and make points. But then the mid-table Alfa Romeo, McLaren, Alpine, AlphaTauri, and Haas, as well. They would like to get big points, maybe a podium at some point in the season. But then Mercedes would like to get a lot of podiums. But then like the top two teams, Red Bull and Ferrari, they would like to get the most or the consistent wins and the consistent podiums. As a lot of drivers are now out on track. Alfie taking an alternative line going into turn 9 on the exit of turn 8 and going into turn 9. Was there's a spun Williams from Hennessy. At the moment, Sparko is gonna be the first one to start their flying laps. Then it's Matt, then it's Hennessy, then it's Reggie, then it's Alfie, then it's Coke, then it is Josh, and then it will be Diego. Sparkle through the first sector. Right, I need to take the lap data thingy. As Reggie and Pet, they are in the mediums. Sparkle through the first sector, 25.414. Matt through the first sector, 25.222. And Hennessy through the first sector, 25.305. Reggie through the first sector, well, we didn't see. Beautiful. Sparko through the second sector. Good turn 10. Nice apex. As he loses the rear on the X of turn 10. Luckily he saved it, but his flying lap is ruined. So we look at Matt now through the second sector, 50.314. Reggie, well, we didn't see Hennessy neither. His second sector split. So Matt as well loses it. Now on the X of turn 13. So it's gonna be now Hennessy who will be finishing his proper lap first. Sparkles into P1, but quickly Hennessy into P1, and now Reggie goes into P1, 111.733, Hennessy 112.456, Josh 112.669, Coke 4th 112.931, Alfie 5th 113.415, as Shaza goes first on the softs. Now Noise goes first on the softs, 111.431, Shaza 111.677, Diego 8th 113.818, and Sparko down in 9th as he made a mistake on this exact corner. On this corner, lost a lot of time, and a 115.291 as he is gaining already a second through that alone. So at the moment it is Noise first in Q2, and then close behind him are the both Red Bulls. Not gonna lie, Noise doesn't have the best teammates, hasn't been getting the best teammates recently. Lamas is good, but like when either Coke or, well, Coke was as well a bit underperforming that Ferrari, but when it wasn't Lamas, then most of the people, well, Coke was underperforming that Ferrari, and then, well, Laziri doesn't seem to have the greatest pace, as in Q1 he was 11th, if I remember right. Now it is on a flying lap at the moment, 50.426 through the second sector. This could be a very good lap by the Haas driver. He could slot himself maybe up to P5 safely, maybe P4 even, and coming across the last corner, and Deer's activated now, and coming across the finish line, he goes 4th ahead of Hennessy, 112.269 by the Haas driver, who is in VRT eSport team. Very good lap by Naud, as Matt and Pets coming, they have went off on the track. Matt on the softs, Pets still on the mediums. trying to really qualify on those mediums. He was 8th in Q1, but I don't think he's gonna be able to qualify on those mediums. I just don't see it that he's gonna qualify on those mediums, but we'll see. We will see. At the moment, no one on a lap. Now on an in lap, probably. Yeah, he's 5 seconds down. So Matt on the exit of the last corner that he spun on his first flying lap in Q2. Now he's gonna start his second flying lap in Q2. Pet close behind. The Ziri now out on track as well, as Matt already spun on the exit of turn 1, and Pet as well spun in turn 1, and it looks like Matt is stuck on the curb. He went on going, but he reset it to track. Pet was disqualified for blocking the pit lane, and he is going to be 15th. He's going to be starting 15th if no one gets a grid penalty. Gemini is the only one on a proper flying lap. Laziri on an outlap, George on an outlap. Matt has spun on the exit of turn 1. Gemini through the first sector, 25.441. It's a decent first sector from the Aston Martin driver. Turn 8, nicely taking the curb on the outside, going into turn 9. Nice exits. Into turn 10, don't want to hit that inside curb, neither much of that outside, and the ears open. Second sector 50.861, didn't take the curb on the inside going into turn 10, going into turn 11 at all, and into turn 13, nicely out of the inside curb into turn 13, and now the ears opened. And coming across the line, he is gonna go 8th, 113.037, ahead of Alfie by almost 4 tenths, but behind Coke by a 10th. Matt's going 12th with this time, as he's trying to do a second flying lap, actually now the third flying lap on these softs. Already 18.9 seconds gained on those softs. George second sector 50.292, and into the last corner Dira's open, and now coming across the line, he's gonna go 4th, 111.953, ahead of now but behind Reggie. The Ziri second sector 50.740, half a tenth slower than George, and Ziri coming across the line, he's gonna go 8th, 112.670. Not the best times, but the Ferrari reserve now. Well, he's in an official Ferrari reserve. Matt goes 5th, 112.258, just ahead of now, but behind George on the used set of softs. Sparko out on track. Will try to do a better time. Well, he's gonna go faster on his time if he doesn't if he doesn't do a mistake. 5 minutes to go in this Q2 session. I think Alfie is on a flying lap now. Yeah, he is on a flying lap. Didn't see the second sector split. Laziri spun on the exit of turn 10, and Alfie will come across the line. He was improving by 8 tenths, and he did gain more time in that last sector, going 8th, and a 112.256 behind Hennessy, but ahead of Josh. A lot of drivers going 8th now, and Lazari is in danger of not making it in, as Sparko is improving by 3 tenths through the first sector already. Second sector is going to be the place that he's going to gain the most, as he made a mistake on this exit. He doesn't make it again. The air is open and into turn 11, second sector split. It's gonna be 50.324. He's gaining by 2.8 seconds through the second sector. Like I said, gaining the most in that second sector. Now third sector, taking nice and easy. Not taking that inside curb or not much of that outside curb. And the air is open, coming across the line. And he's gonna go for 7th, 112.347, pushing Laziri. Now, provisionally, out of Q3. And the gap between Josh and Laziri is only 1,000 only. Now that I just realized. More drugs coming across. Will be exiting the pits. Alfie's going in. Sparkle will be going in as well. Noise still in P1, 111.3. 430 is the time to beat for these drivers, but I don't think anyone is gonna beat. Well, it depends as well if Shazza and Reggie are gonna go out on track, but if they don't, then I don't think anyone is gonna beat Noise's time. Diego joins in back. Hennessy on an outlap. So it's Coke. There's a Gemini as well going out on track. As well as Snout going out on track. At the moment, no one. No, there is an Alpine going out on track. That's Josh. Sparker going in. Laziri going out on track. As Hennessy is starting his possibly final flying lap of this Q2. First couple of corners looking good. Exit a little bit of oversteer, but didn't lose that much time. And through the first sector split, it's gonna be 2 tenths gaining through the first sector. Coke has started his flying lap as well. Through the turn 9 and turn 10 now. Not taking that inside curb. Not much of that outside curb. The air is opened. And through the second sector split, it's gonna be a almost 4/10 improvement through the second sector. And now going into the turn 13, he had a bit of a wobble on the exit of turn 12, but it doesn't matter. And through turn 14, the air is opening, and now through the finish line, he goes fourth, 111.921. Coke, meanwhile, has he lost time or something? That exit of turn 12 looks a bit bad, as he isn't gonna gain on his time. He's probably gonna try and do another one in a row, but he doesn't have much ERS left. Only like almost 20% left. Not the best. Diego is gonna start his final flying lap. Laziri has crashed out on the exit of turn 7, so he's out of Q2. He's not gonna go into Q3. We saw his wreckage on the exit of turn 7. Total to car. Gemini coming across the line. He goes 9th, pushing Josh off the Q2. But Josh is still on a flying lap, taking aggressively that last that outside curb, and through the line he goes 8th, 112.336, pushing Alfie off the of making it into Q3. Now to go second, 111.647 for the house driver. Coke improves his time, but only goes 11th, so Coke hasn't made it into Q3. Diego is still on a flying lap. Sparker as well, but he's safely in. Diego is still yet to finish his time, And coming across the line, it doesn't look that he's gonna make it. No, he has stayed 14th. Sparko is safely in as he goes P5. Nice improvement by Sparko, but Noise finishes first. Note finishes second, surprisingly, in the Haas in his home Grand Prix. Shaza third, Reggie fourth on the mediums though. Sparko fifth, Hennessy sixth, George seventh, Matt eighth, Josh ninth, and Gemini going into Q3. Coke didn't make it into Q3. Alfie as well. Laziri not in the Ferrari. Diego didn't as well. And Pet was already disqualified in the early stages of Q2. So yeah, this was Q2. Now we move on into Q3. We move on into Q3. The most exciting part of Q3. The most exciting part of the qualifying. Let me just check the comment real quick. Well, yeah, it is slow. I raced it once in a full season, and it feels so heavy. I know the feeling now. I know the feeling. I raced it. It feels like a tank. It feels like a tank. I know it. But I got a few notes. I didn't see them. But what's happening? Not much. But it's... Well, actually... Tur is in the session, so... It's... Only notes home race at the moment. There's a 50-point gap between Noise and Reggie, so even if Reggie gets crashed out and Noise is gonna win this race, he's still got a full race lead, a race win lead over Noise, as many drivers out on track. Hennessy out on track, George out on track, both of the Red Bulls now going out on track as well. George out on track, Matt, Noise, now and Sparko out on track. Diego is still looking for his first points in the Haas. In the constructors, in the mid table, it's looking very interesting, as from the 4th place Haas to McLaren. So it's Haas 4th in 75 points, Alpine 5th 64 points, Alfa Romeo 6th in 60 points, Williams 7th in 58 points, and McLaren 8th in 54 points. It's only a 20-point gap between them. Dirk and Hennessy having a good form, as Dirk got 2 P2s and Hennessy as well 2 P3s in a row, as Sparko has spun going into turn 2. I was looking at the notes that I've been given, but I saw that, as well as in here. What are the Red Bulls doing? It's just like it's a 5-place grid penalty. Collision with Reggie. So Reggie has a 5-place grid penalty. I don't know what's happened between the Red Bulls, but there's gonna be a little bit of heat between them, as Hennessy does a full 360 on the exit of turn 13. So now it is gonna be provisionally now on pole position, 111.734 by the Williams driver. Matt goes 12th, 112.151. And that is George into 4th, 112.360. but Noise out of nowhere, a 1:10.726, a full second ahead of the closest driver at the moment. Behind him now, as Sparko goes 51:20.910 as he made a lap with a spin going into turn 3, and as well a broken front wing. Reggie on a lap, second sector 49.259. Out of him there's Gemini, who's gonna be interrupting him as Gemini is on an out lap, but Reggie is gonna get a slipstream by him now, going through the finish line, and he's gonna go second. 1:10.755, 300ths behind Noise. So it's very interesting for the pole position battle now. Shazza now out on track. Gemini on a flying lap. First sector is gonna be 25.368. And the previous results from the seasons, the first season, I guess, in the notes it says no race, I think, so I don't know. And I wasn't in the season 1. Season 2, a pole position by Cool Guy, but win by Shazza. Season 3 was pole by Tur, but win by Volta. And those are all of the notes that I've been given. Gemini now coming across the line, and he's gonna go 112.651. I forgot how to say the thing that I've said many times over and over again. Like, for example, 112.651. I forgot how to say it for a brief moment. Shazza now on a flying lap. On the first sector, it's gonna be, well, his lap through the first sector looked good, and it's gonna be a 24.686 through the first sector. Ahead of him, there is a Williams of Hennessy ahead of him, but Hennessy has let him through nicely. Turn 9 looks good. Turn 10, a little bit of the inside curb, had to correct it a bit so that he doesn't go on top of it. And second sector 49.568. The mix of turn 12 looked good, and into turn 13, the inside not taking it, and the outside curb not as well much of it. Turn 14 flat and activating his DRS, and coming across the line, it's gonna be a 111.100. George has invalidated his flying lap. Hennessy has now started his flying lap. That's good. It looks good, and into the first sector split, it's gonna be a 25.009. So he's going slower than Shazza, at least. That's what I know. That's what I remembered from the sector times. And turn 10, nice and easy, nicely done. And into the second sector split, it's going to be a 49.959. So the lap is looking good by the Williams driver. Going into turn 13, not making the same mistake like he did last time, that he went around that corner to turn 14 flat, sorry. And coming across the line, he is going to go fourth, 111.699, going ahead of now, but 6 cents behind Hennessy, Shazza, sorry. As George as well goes now fourth, 111.648, half a cent ahead of Hennessy, but still 5.5 tenths behind Shazza. Sparko out on track. Hennessy, well, he's out on track because he just finished his lap. But Sparko is out on track. There might be some cars in a minute, or in a half a minute. There might be some cars exiting the pits. Well, because it's Q3 and obviously everyone wants to make their times, their fastest times that they want to do. Sparko is shortly gonna start his probably final flying lap. He has more than 1 lap of fuel. He has actually for 3 laps. So if he misses this lap, then he can do a sort of like a warm-up lap or something and make another one. Sparko at the moment, the only man out on track. That turn 2 and 3 combination was made without mistakes, and through the first sector it's gonna be a 24.816, 7.3 seconds faster than his previous first sector. Turn 8 looked good, and turn 9 looks nice. Using most of the track. That was very close to the inside curb, and now the drivers are now exiting their pits. Sparko 49.772, 8.9 seconds faster than his previous time. And now Sparko going into turn 13, a little bit wide, not as ideal apex. Didn't even take the apex, but still coming across the line. He's gonna go 4th, 111.559 ahead of George, but behind Shazza. Sparko has made his time. He has fuel and time to make another one in a row. Well, after this sort of like cooldown lap, you could say, he can make another one if he really wants to. Noise is just now exiting the pits with 1 minute 10 seconds to go, so he's gonna be just make it in as he cut the pits lane exit line. But who cares? Josh isn't out on track, so he's not gonna be making another lap. Neither Hennessy. So I guess they used all of their fresh softs. Matt has started his lap now as well. So Gemini through the first sector is improving. Through the first sector split, it's gonna be a improvement by almost 1.5 tenths through the first sector. Matt through the first sector split is improving. It looks like he is almost a tenth gained through the first sector now as well. The same sort of thing. Noise, is he gonna be able to make it? To make yet another? Is he gonna be able to do a flying lap? 3, 2, 1. He has made it to start a flying lap just in. Gemini is improving through the second sector, but he lost some time through the second sector now. Coming across the line, and he's gonna stay 9th, 112.458. Matt in the meantime has gained through the second sector, 3 tenths improved, and now coming across the line, he's gonna go. He stays 8th, 111.761. Now coming across the line, he goes 4th, 111.202. What a lap by now. Shazza didn't improve. Won't be improving on his time as he led through the Alpine driver of George. But Reggie now activating his DRS and coming across the line. Is he gonna go professional pole? No, he doesn't. He didn't improve on his time. Shazza won't be as well. George has improved on his time. 111.122 ahead of now, but just behind Shazza. Noise has inverted his time, but it doesn't matter. Noise is in on the pole position here in Zandvoort, but Reggie is very close behind him in P2. Shazza won't be starting third as he had a 5 players grid penalty with Reggie, so he's gonna be starting 8th today. George is gonna be third. Note is gonna be 4th on the second row. Sparko is gonna be on the third row with Hennessy. Shazza is gonna be on the 4th row with the Matt. No. Okay, I don't know. No. Okay, I don't know. No, I don't know. But Noise is on the pole position. Reggie as well, 5 players grid penalty. Both of the Red Bulls have a 5 players grid penalty, so it's George second, Nout third, Sparko 4th. Then Reggie is gonna be somewhere. Hennessy is gonna be 5th, so then it's gonna be Reggie in 6th, Matt in 7th. Then it's gonna be Shazza. No, my math isn't. Wait, so it's gonna be Reggie P7 and Shazza P8. So Noise is gonna be starting first, and then Reggie and Shazza are gonna be starting 7th and 8th. So it's going very nicely in the favor of Noise, but there is still the race. Reggie did break the curse last race, but after post-race penalties, Lamas won it on track. Well, but still, Reggie broke the record. Curse. Broke the curse still. We'll see what he will do. What Noise will do. Is he gonna dominate this race? Or is it gonna... Or the new curse is gonna start? Or the same curse? I spilled over myself. Alright. That's over. Alright, as the formation lap starts pretty much now. So you see most of the drivers for the medium tire. Oh, very mixed. It's a very mixed. So it's not the so 3 drivers on the softs: Hennessy, Shazza, and Jack. Okay, so it's Reggie P6 and Matt P7. Then it's Naud, Reggie, Josh, Alfie, Hudson, Martin and Gravidi on the hards, and then the rest: Noise, George, Sparko, Matt, Gemini, Coke, Laziri, Diego Pet, and Mormonic on the mediums. It's very mixed. I wasn't expecting to be this mixed. I thought that most of the drivers would just go on the mediums and some on the hards, but 3 drivers went on the very aggressive for the start on the softs. Then more. Wait, so it's 3 drivers on the softs. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the hards, and then the rest 10 drivers are on the mediums. It's very diverse. I wasn't expecting this to be this diverse or this colorful, but it's this is what I like. This is what I like to comment on. This is what I like to comment on. As there were a few spins about the drivers, but I was more concentrated on the tire choice because it was the biggest talking point at that moment. I seriously wasn't expecting to actually anyone to go on the softs, and then I mean like maybe 3, 4 on the hards, but then the rest on the mediums. But anyways, now the drivers are getting disqualified just by missing their grid slots. And as there's slots into the grid slots, the race should begin around, well, a few seconds. Not the best cameras, well, actually, they're good cameras. 1, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights out. And away we go. They were held by quite some time. Noise gets a amazing start off the line behind Aston Martin. And Aston Martin one of the Aston Martins had a terrible start. Noise already up the first. As what is happening in the mid table now is out of the race. Shaz up down in 20th and Reggie down in 18th with Martin as well. What is happening in here? And it's a virtual safety car and the home. What is happening? Pet with 5-second time penalty. Georgie up into second. What was happening on that start? And now Reggie, what is happening in here? What was happening on the start? Graffiti 8th from 20th. What the... Well, Noise and George maintained their positions, as well as Hennessy. Matt has gained 4 positions. Coke has gained 7 positions. Josh 4 positions. Diego 7 positions. Graffiti up into 8th from 20th. Pets up to 9th from 15th. Sparkle down in 10th from 4th. Hudson up to 11th from 16th. Jack from 17th to 12th. Mormonic from 18th to 13th. Alfie from 12th to 14th. As Hennessy goes into the pits, Gemini has lost 6 positions. Laziri isn't in the... Whoa, what is happening? As well as Sparkle got a 5-place grid... 5-second time penalty. As Hennessy and Sparkle, they have to change their wings. The virtual safety car is off. It's gone already in. So, Noise is in P1. And then Reggie and Shaza in P14 and P16. What is happening in here in the Netherlands? This is what I talked about. The tire shakeup could have done that as it did. Because few drivers who were on the soft or the mediums or the better tire, they could have done something of a mayhem. And if one car spins, well, it was going into turn 2, which is a really tight corner, and going too wide is hard enough. And then if the car out of you has spun, then it's even harder. As Sparkle spins on the exit of turn 10, Laziri is getting overtaken by literally everyone, as he is in the AI, not helping Noise at all in the constructor fight. Reggie with the fastest lap, but well, we know how, well, there's a virtuous safety car, but the tire choice that someone made, that some of the drivers made, that some for the softs, some for the mediums, and some for the hards, as Reggie already overtakes Gemini. So he's up to 13, but that tire choice that some people made, some on the softs, some on the mediums, and some on the hards, did shake up a lot, and that could have made that some drivers that were behind could have made better starts that they were on the front, so that could have caused a massive mayhem, that it caused a massive carnage. And the home hero, you could say, now has already crashed out, going to turn 1, as he was on the, well, Noise is going in. He was basically on the grass, as Pets and Diego, they're fighting for P6. Diego having run out an awesome race, as he's now up into 6th, and he is up into 6th, as behind Gravity was trying to make the advantage of the fight between Pet and Graffiti, but Pet didn't give any sort of space to Graffiti. But as well, Graffiti was also just sort of forcing his way through, as Pet is trying to go too wide with Diego into turn 8. There's a very high-speed corner, and now going into turn 9, they make contact as Graffiti goes into the back of Pet, and Graffiti has spun. And these two, Diego and Pet, they're still fighting for the P6. Sorry about the coughing, but now there's still a bit of mayhem at the back, as Reggie is now up to 11th. And now Reggie trying to overtake Alfie into turn 11. Reggie is on a mission at the moment, as into turn 13 he's very close behind Alfie. The DRS has been already enabled, as up front Diego and Pet are fighting. Reggie is trying to overtake Alfie. Shaza has overtaken Jack into turn 1. Meanwhile, between Diego and Pet, Diego has again overtaken Pet, but yet again Pet is trying to look for a move into turn 7, and it could be yet again that Pet is gonna try and look for a move into turn 8. No, he doesn't. But Reggie and Alfie side by side into turn 7. Reggie on the outside, and going to turn 10, still on the outside. There's now going side by side into turn 9. Reggie on the switchback now, and on the outside of turn 10. Could he have a better exit than Alfie? Yes, he does get a better exit. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, and Reggie on the inside now into turn 13. Shaza is trying to take advantage as well, as Reggie has gone ahead of Alfie. Pet meanwhile has spun going into turn 13, so there could have been contact between himself and Diego. Reggie now up into 9th. Shaza going in to the pits, as Mormonic and Jack now are fighting for P11. Bit of contact between them into turn 1, and now they're going side by side into turn 2. A little bit of contact between them once again, and it has gone a bit of favor to Jack, as Pet yet again spins going to turn 2, and now in turn 3 yet again but spun. Mormonic has overtaken Jack to P11. I don't know why Diego is now down in 19th. As Pet yet again spins now in turn 7. A very bad race for Pet now. I guess he has no grip in the rear, and he has a broken front wing as well. Diego is still 19th. I don't understand why he is P19. Gemini has overtaken Pet into turn 9 on the outside. Noise has built up a comfortable lead on George now, as Gravity and Hudson, they're now fighting for P6. Gravity has overtaken successfully Hudson for the P6. I'll just say P6 now before the game corrects itself. Reggie has overtaken Alfie, and as Pet has crashed out in turn 14, bit of a weird one, and that has caused a full safety car. He is on the middle of the track, on the racing line. That is very good for Jack. Which at this time it's perfect time to switch onto the new tires. But this is now very bad for Noise, as the pack is gonna bunch up. The pack is gonna bunch up now, big time. Diego is still 19 as he leaves the game. George going in, Matt going in, Coke going in, Josh not going in, Gravity not going in, Reggie not going in. I mean, they're on the hearts. Josh now in P1. Shaza getting a drive-through penalty, speeding on the safety car. So a bad race to worse now for Shaza, as now Reggie could be going into up to P4. What is happening between these AIs? It is Reggie up to 5th, as the AI of Diego is causing mayhem out here. Nobody knows what they're supposed to do, as an Alfa Romeo of Alfie has spun. Nobody knows in which position everyone should be. But it looks like no, Gravity is 3rd, George is 4th, Reggie 5th, George on the mediums. Yet again, Matt in 6th, Hudson in 7th, Coke 8th, Alfie 9th, Martin 10th. And then behind, but more behind, Mormonic in 11th, Shaza in 12th, Jack 13th, Gemini 14th, Laziri in the AI, Hennessy is still going in 16th, as Jack has spun on the 6th car in turn 7. So that's Gemini up to 13th, Hennessy in 16th, Sparkle in 17th, and Diego in 19th, but he's in the AI. He should be run now in P9 actually. So I don't know what the hell is going on. What the hell is going on for Diego? He's now up to 18th. Josh could be... No, he's not going into the pits. So Josh is now leading the race. Reggie still has to go into the pits to change from his medium hard tires. Noise doesn't. I mean, it's highway. It's gonna be interesting as Shaza and Gemini are switching positions, but it's gonna be a tough one for Noise. Or I mean, I don't know. Can the hard tires go until the end now? From this point, Jack into the pits to change his front wing probably. Yeah, and he's down in 17th, behind Sparko. So yeah, for the guys who pitted now for the fresh hearts, I don't know myself. I don't know honestly. Can those hearts make till the end from? If the safety car is gonna go next lap, then probably they can. 25 laps till the end it will be. They could make it. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Can they make it? Well, the mediums definitely are not gonna be able to make it until the end. It's... I know it myself. They can only go like till lap 16, lap 14 maybe. I haven't done Netherlands in some time, so I don't really know. But they definitely will not go in. They will definitely not go until the end. There's no way. Even if you would be a tie saver, like you would go, well, if you would slow down by like 5 seconds per lap, they still wouldn't go until the end. And it wouldn't be even worth it go 5 seconds slower, as Martin has spun the exit of turn 1, damaging his whole front wing. So his race has gone as well from bad to worse. And the safety car will go in at the end of this lap. Well, it hasn't been confirmed that, but it's gonna go in. I can tell you that it's gonna go in. So Martin, who has to do a pit stop, a longer pit stop because of his broken front wing. So he's gonna be way back behind Jack, a long way back behind Jack. Diego for me is still in P18. I don't know what has happened with Diego. He's not. He's in lap 8 while everyone else is in lap 10. But the safety car is gonna go in at the end of this lap. Yep, like I said, it's gonna go in at the end of this lap. So Josh is now gonna control the pace, while the safety car is gonna go into the pits. What's happening between Jack and Sparko? I have no clue, but you'll see when Josh is gonna go. Well, he's pretty close behind the safety car, so he's gonna go very late. Safety car is in now. Josh has restarted, so the race is going. Reggie trying to overtake already George into turn 1, but as well Noise trying to overtake Josh for the P1 of this race. As he does overtake Josh for the P1, he regains the P1 as at the back Shemin and Alfie make contact and both spun. Diego has as well crashed out, and it could be yet again a safety car. It isn't at the moment. And the back Jack is fighting with Sparko, but as well Shazad now has overtaken Alfie around the outside of turn 7. You don't see that very often. Behind, Laziria has lost 2 positions to Mormonic and Hennessy. Hennessy has dive bombed on Mormonic into turn 9, and he made it successfully. Up front, Noise already built up a 1 second lead over Josh within a half lap. The lap hasn't even ended, and the gap is already almost 1.5 seconds. Reggie hasn't gained any positions as Hennessy has overtaken Jack, but so Martin has spun on the exit of turn 8. Alfie overtakes Laziri. Shaza serving his drive-through penalty. As on the exit of turn 1, Josh has spun on the exit of turn 1. He doesn't look that he has any damage, but his race is gone really bad as Matt as well spun on the exit of turn 2, damaging his whole front wing. And the strategy that he would probably go until the end of this race with these hearts, it's gone down as he has to pit for the new wing. Martin yet again spinning now on the exit of turn 13. George now very close to Gravity, as Gravity is now P12, but he still hasn't pitted to the new tires. George is gonna try to, well, he's trying to close in. Reggie can't do anything at the moment. As at the back, Hennessy has spun on the exit of turn 10 and retired as well. And it's a full safety car, which is not very good for the hard runners that have started this race. It's still not a good time to pit. Reggie goes in, George as well goes in for the new hearts. Spark as well for hearts, I guess. For the used ones, he didn't use them much. George for the fresh ones. Reggie for the mediums. Many tries in as well. Jack, well, Matt for the new wing. Jack for new softs. Sparko for the used, well, 1 lap used hards. Reggie for the mediums. George for the hards. And Shaza for the mediums as well. So it's still Noise in P1. Gravity up into P2. He didn't pit. Hudson didn't pit. Josh didn't pit. And Alfie didn't pit. So they have stayed out on their hard tires. Those mediums aren't going to go until the end. It's over 20 laps of racing. Well, it's not going to be even 20. It's going to be like 21. I don't think those mediums can go until the end. But these hards that Noise, Coke, and Mormonic have, as well as George and Sparko, they're gonna go until the end. As for Noise, Coke, and Mormonic on this safety car, they can save their hards now. Gravity not going in. Well, it's already a bit of a stupid idea to go in now. Jack tried to overtake as Matt has yet again spun. Has he any front wing damage? It doesn't look like it. No, he doesn't have any, so he's all good. But Jack tried to overtake Laziri, but that doesn't work because you can't overtake a ghosted AI. At the moment, both Haas's and both Williamses have been retired from this race. So for Williams aren't gonna gain any points. Neither will Haas. So yeah, Martin is gonna catch up to the safety car pack, so I'd expect the safety car go at the end of this lap. I'd expect him to go until at the end of this lap. The communication should be now or so. Yeah, safety car is in this lap, like I talked about. So now Noise is gonna control the pace, while the safety car is gonna go in this lap, obviously. And he's going a lot slower than Josh did. A lot further away from the safety car, trying to warm up those hard tires as much as possible. They aren't easy to warm up, so most of the drivers are gonna warm them up even more throughout the lap. Try to be cautious on the first laps. Noise isn't going now. He's going now, so the race has been restarted. Gravity didn't sleep on the restart, but George did, as he's getting already overtaken by Alfie and Mormonic into turn 1. No pace by Josh, actually, as he's getting overtaken by Shemrai and Reggie as well. And now by his own teammate. And now what is happening with Josh? As now Shazza's race has gone even worse, as he's been in sort of an mayhem, a carnage between whichever drivers there were. Jack is very much behind all of the pack. Josh has absolutely no pace now. Absolutely no pace. Or maybe he's in the AI that he hasn't realized that the race is going. Reggie is already up into 6th from the 10th place, using those fresh mediums to his advantage to overtake all of the drivers. But catching up to Noise is going to be more difficult to catching to these other back markers or midfield cars, as he's now trying to into turn 1 on the inside. Is going to overtake Alfie into turn 1. Way more grip than Alfie, a way better car, and most importantly, way better speed. As Mormonic has problems on the exit of turn 1, getting overtaken by Gemini, Martin, Sparko, and now Shazza going into turn 3. Mormonic as well dropping down. Josh he still probably hasn't realized that he's on the AI. Jack into the pits to change his front wing off. Reggie has already caught up to Hudson, as Hudson lets him through. Weirdly lets him through, going wide into turn 9. So Reggie now, without any fight, is now up to 4th. As the back, Martin has spun on the exit of turn 10, and he's down to P13. Jack getting 5-second time penalty because he has crossed the pit exit wide line way too many times. DRS has been enabled. Shazza is very close to Sparko now, trying to go on the outside now, on the inside of turn 1, on the straight and into turn 1 on the inside. He is now ahead of Sparko, so he's up to 9th. Reggie has already caught up to Coke's 1 second, but Coke is within Gravity's 1 second or the DRS zone. But Reggie is catching up to Coke very quickly. Newer and better tire compared to Coke's older and tougher tire. Both of them are gonna have DRS on this back straight. Reggie can't do anything at the moment to overtake Coke, but maybe on that main straight he could do something. Martin yet again spinning on the exit of turn 10 a bit more severely, as the yellow flag is for a longer time. Reggie now with the DRS as well as Coke, but Reggie on the inside having way better straight line speed, and on the inside Coke is still trying to handle it out on the outside, but he can't do anything from the missile, the Red Bull missile that is now Reggie, as there's a yellow flags for some reason, for nothing. Reggie now up to 3rd. He is gonna overtake Gravity in this middle part of sector 2, probably going to turn 9 maybe. No. Turn 10, no. As Martin has crashed out from this race. Could be yet again a safety car on the exit of turn 2 and going to turn 3. Reggie on the outside. There's no safety car, so the race is still going. Reggie is very close behind Gravity, but he's losing more and more time as he's trying to fight Gravity. Gravity made a mistake on the exit, but it wouldn't even matter, since Reggie now on the outside of turn 1. Gravity on the inside. Reggie has way more grip, way more better tire as Gravity hits Reggie on the exit, hits the wall, and he's now down in 10th, possibly wing damage. Yes, there is wing damage for Gravity. And now Reggie now up to 2nd. It could have been that Gravity didn't expect or just didn't had a different line, wanted to go wider, or thought that Reggie was already ahead of him, as Matt has overtaken Mormonic into turn 7 as he has wing damage. Gravity as well has wing damage as he went wide on the exit of turn 8. But the incident between Gravity and Reggie, Reggie was pretty, like, on the, if you would talk about the exit apex, then he was on there. He was the furthest that he could be, that he wouldn't spin. I guess just Gravity didn't expect to Reggie to not be fully ahead of him, as Shaza is now within the pack of the 3 drivers, George and both of the Alfies, as Alfie has been forced on the inside, gifting P6 to Shaza, and now Shaza is now behind George. Will try to overtake him into turn 7, maybe on the outside, as yet again very close between Shaza and George to turn 8. Can't do anything about it now. To turn 9, maybe dive, no. Turn 10, possibly just try and staying very close behind him as he's trying to go on the outside. Didn't work. The air is open for him and George, but George is depleted from all of his ERS. Shaza's very close, a bit of a touch from Shaza, but I don't think that's wing damage worthy. Hudson up front of this pack is slowing these drivers down. George will try to overtake Hudson into turn 1 as Hudson goes into the pits. Gemini goes in as well. Shazza on the outside, overtaking George into turn 1. And he's up to 4th, gaining 2 positions at once. Gemini and Hudson into the pits actually. Mormonic and Matt, they're still fighting for now P8 now. Matt has wing damage, Mormonic doesn't have. So it's a bit of an unfair fight, but whatever. Reggie has gained to noise from 5.3 seconds to 4.6 now. But these mediums, I guess now they're showing that they're not as durable as the hards. Matt is still very close behind Mormonic. In the DRS, going to turn 10, 11. Mormonic went this defensive. Matt on the outside. What? Mormonic, I guess, went way too early on the brakes, and now Matt is up to 8th. But Mormonic could now overtake Matt into turn 1 with the help of the DRS. Sparko has overtaken Alfie into turn 1 on the inside. Alfie 21 laps on those hards, so it is possible to go 21 laps on those hards. Behind Mormonic didn't catch to Matt so that he can overtake him, and probably now Matt is gonna run away from Mormonic. The gap between Noise and Reggie is going down slowly. Now it's 4.4 between these two. And Coke is sort of alone at this moment, 7 seconds behind Reggie, but Shazza is sort of closing in as Mormonic has get Mormonic now to 8th. Matt has spun on the X of turn 9. Jack has resided in the pits, but how has Mormonic gained on Matt? I don't know. The gap was almost 1 second when I last time checked, and now when they were fighting into turn 9, all of a sudden Mormonic overtook him, and Matt could have rear wing damage actually, since he hit pretty heavily with his rear wing. Matt going into the pits, possibly retiring. I don't know. Well, he still hasn't retired. Hudson overtaking him. Gemini, he's gonna be behind Gravity. Out of Laziri though. Jackers are tired, so there are only 14 drivers. Well, actually 12 if we want to like disqualify Laziri and Josh. Actually, I don't know if Josh is racing now, but 12 drivers left, you could say. Shazza has caught up to Coke, as well as Reggie is catching to Noise. The gap is now 3.8, 3.9. Shazza is very close behind Coke. Reggie new fast lap 113.358. Shazza with the help of the DRS. Coke defending very aggressively, almost pushing Shazza onto the wall, but backing out of the idea last minute, and that is Shazza up to 3rd. But Reggie and Shazza, they probably still have to go to the pits, as I don't think they're gonna go with these mediums 20 somewhat 20 laps. Gravity has spun on the exit of turn 13, damaging his front wing, and that is Matt up to 11th. In the meantime, his teammate Sparko has spun, and that is Gravity out, and that is a safety car on lap 23. So it's gonna be yet again a pit stop for most of the drivers, or probably all of them. Noise in the pits, Reggie into the pits, but Reggie started on the mediums, I think, didn't he? But he pits for the mediums, Noise for the mediums. Well, basically everyone for the mediums. Shazza doesn't pit. So this could be a strategic move by Red Bull. Slow down Noise so that or something. George for the used mediums, Coke for the new mediums, Sparko for the used mediums, Alfie for the new mediums. Mormonic didn't pit from his very used hearts. Hudson doesn't as well, but he has 3 laps. Gemini doesn't pit. There is still Matt to pit. That, well, sort of has to pit. But very interesting move by Shazza. Very interesting move by Shazza, not pitting. He isn't gonna go until the end, I don't think. Matt's staying out on those 6-lap-old hearts. But if you look at the race director, please. I know Reggie started on the hearts. Okay. So everything clear for me now. I thought that he started on the mediums. I thought that Reggie started on the mediums, but no, he didn't. So everything clear for me now. Shazza started on the hearts, then went for the... No, he started from the softs, then hearts, and now he's on the mediums. Jack has left the session. There are still a few tries to catch up to the field. Hudson, Gemini, but they're sort of close. There's Matt, who is almost 20 seconds behind the pack. But it's very interesting by Shazza to stay out on those very used mediums. Very heavily used mediums. Could be that Shazza is gonna try and slow down Noise. Maybe brake check him, I don't know. I could be onto something. They could be onto something. They seriously could be onto something to ruin Noise's race. Maybe damage his wing or something, as George has left the session. Well, now he has joined back, but previously he left the session. I didn't even realize that he left. Mormonic, the only one... Well, actually, there are Gemini and Matt on the hearts, but Mormonic is the only one in... Like, with the very heavily used hearts from the first safety car. And this is the third safety car, actually. And I could be onto something. And Shazza is... Shazza and Reggie, they're on... They will try maybe brake check Noise or something, or just damage his front wing. Or do something that just Reggie is gonna win the race, sort of controversially. I don't know. But the safety car is in this lap. Shazza is gonna control the pace now on the safety car. Noise almost went into the back of it. And Noise obviously won't be knowing when he's gonna go more money over to George. Shazza's going very slowly, actually. As George gets a 5-second time penalty, severe collision with Mormonic. As Shazza is going now, so the race has been restarted. And Noise will try to catch Shazza and overtake him as quickly as possible throughout this first lap. Noise making a mistake going to turn 1. Reggie was trying to overtake him, but he couldn't. Shazza's going very slowly on the in turn 3, parking the car, but Noise with a better traction on the exit. But Shazza has re-overtaken him into turn 7. Noise making a bit of a mistake on the exit of turn 7, and now he's trying to go 3 wide into turn 9. Noise was trying to take advantage of it, but he's down in 8th. He has Reggie and Shazza, they made contact, and Noise is down in 8th. And that has ruined Noise's race. Meanwhile, Sparko has overtaken Mormonic. But that is a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment. But Shazza, I don't believe that he's gonna go until the end of the race with these tires. Meanwhile, who is that? That's Josh. So he wasn't in the AI. But Noise is trying to make up the positions now, up to 7th now. And ahead of him is Mormonic, who is on 20 lap old hard tires as he spins again. He spins again. Gemini into the pits. Noise. His race is very much ruined. Down in 10th and 4.6 seconds behind Matt. Reggie now is probably gonna end this race in a comfortable win, but there is still 8 laps to go. I still don't believe that Shazza is gonna finish with these mediums. They have to be really short now. They're gonna get he's gonna get a puncture before the race is gonna end. I don't see him finishing this race in these mediums. I don't see it. George is trying to overtake Coke into turn 1. They're going side by side into turn 1. George on the inside, Coke on the outside. George with a way better grip somehow with the older mediums is out of Coke, so he's up to 3rd. But Coke maybe didn't want to risk fighting him as he has 5-second time penalty. But George could remove it. Noise has already caught up to Matt from that 4-second gap now to 4/10 between them. George is very close to Shazza. 6/10 behind. Well, that's not very close, but whatever. Sparko has made a mistake on the exit of turn 10, a similar that he did in the qualifying. Just worse, as Mormonic and Alfie, they make contact, and Alfie was sideways. Mormonic is up to 5th, Alfie down to 6th. Noise is up to 9th, overtaking Hudson. And now Noise is trying to overtake Matt into turn 1. But is he gonna have enough? No. Sparko has overtaken Alfie into turn 1 on the inside. Noise is... We'll see what Noise is gonna try to do into turn 3 on the outside, but he's trying to get a better exit, as it's very close between Alfie and Matt and Noise. Matt on the inside, Alfie off track on the grass, having no grip in there, and he has lost 2 places at once. Noise on the inside of turn 9 and the same mistake. I don't see him why he's trying to overtake him. Why is he trying to overtake him in there? Mormonic has spun and Sparko has crashed out, and this is a full safety car. Who is ahead? Is it Noise or Hudson? Because they were side by side. It's Hudson. It was Hudson ahead of Noise. And Reggie not going in. Shazza is gonna go. Shazza is staying out. George and Coke in for the softs, I believe. Yes, they're going on the softs. George saving his 5-second time penalty. Matt into the pits. Noise getting a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. The drivers are going for the fresh softs. And Mormonic staying out on those as well shot hearts. Well, they're shot compared to beautifully fresh baked softs. Or maybe not fresh baked. They were probably made like few months ago, ready for these races, but whatever. Yeah. And Reggie, well, not Red. Well, Reggie is still on quite some fresh or mid or like somewhat used mediums. Sheza is on the shot mediums. Hudson has stayed out on those mediums that he was, so he's third. Mormonic with shots, well, not as shot to Shaza's mediums, but they're still very short compared to fresh softs. Yeah, Noise with a 3-second time penalty. The only one who got a 3-second time penalty till now. Well, there's no driver who got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings until now, because it's Noise now with a 3-second time penalty. It's very interesting that he got a 3-second time penalty, because while he was going into the pits. So it could be removable. It could be removable. But we'll see in the if he's gonna report that, and if he's gonna report that, then we'll see what he's gonna do. What the FIA is gonna do with that. Lap 32 from 36. If Gemini catches to the safety car pack, it's gonna go in this lap. It is gonna go in this lap if he catches up to the pack. The gap is already 15 seconds, 14 seconds. Now down to 13 seconds, 12 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 6 seconds. Yes, he is gonna 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2.7, 2.3. Yeah, he's already behind the safety car pack. So I believe the safety car is gonna go on the end of this lap. Yep, it's gonna go at the end of this lap. Reggie's gonna control the pace. I could maybe see a bit dodgy things between Reggie and Shaza now. Reggie maybe going very early, and then Shaza just going very slowly. Well, yeah, like I see, Reggie is very much up front, and Shaza is very much at the back, very much behind. Reggie is going in now to the pits. Reggie is going now, so the race has been restarted. Hudson a bit slow on the restart, but Coke already overtaken Mormonic on the straight line. Noise is trying to overtake. Noise yet again caught up in some incidents. Was trying to overtake Matt on the outside as Alfie has spun with the collision with Noise. Gemini, sorry. As Coke is over. Where Coke and Hudson were going? They're going so much mayhem. Gemini spun. Noise up to 6. Where were those people going? Noise, what is happening in here? Noise in 4th now. What is happening in here? George, what? Matt has crashed out. George with a broken front wing. Mormonic down in 8th. Alfie 7 now. Gemini was spawning going into turn 7. And that is a very late safety car. Hudson down in 5th. I don't know where were Coke and Hudson were going. What was happening in this on that restart? I had no absolute clue. So like Coke and Hudson, they're not going into turn 6. They were way off. Then Hudson rejoined unsafely, causing them to. I'm very much confused myself. Coke and Hudson going in here. They were on the right. They were on the right. Off track. for some reason. Then Hudson came onto the track unsafely, causing then to the drivers to avoid him. Some could, some couldn't. Some got damaged, so some didn't. Some spun, some didn't. And somehow Coke is up to third. Noise didn't get caught up at all in there. And he is up to fourth with a 3-second time penalty. Coke and Hudson have as well. Safety car is already in. Mormonic is just gonna make it. But Alfie and George, they're not gonna catch up to the safety car pack. They're gonna be left in the desert, you could say. And again, the Red Bulls, the same tactic like they did last time, going very slowly, and the gap between them, but they're just gonna go now very much differently. Reggie is so much far ahead. He's already going. Shazza, I don't understand what they're doing, but yeah, the race has been restarted. Behind, the drivers are fighting. Alfie trying to go around the outside of Mormonic. Alfie did catch up to the safety car pack. Coke has already overtaken Shazza, going to turn 2, and now Noise and Shazza missed a contact. Shazza has been spun. Noise has dropped down to 4th. Alfie or Hudson is up to 3rd, but I expect Noise to go ahead of him already. Going to turn 9. This time didn't spin while overtaking someone. I'd expect as well Gemini and Alfie to overtake Hudson as well. Very in a lap or two. Coke is on P2 at the moment. George has overtaken Shazza into turn 11. Coke is gaining on Reggie, but Coke has absolutely no ERS compared to Reggie's almost 40%. Gemini on the outside trying to overtake Hudson, but he's letting them through. George with the new fastest lap, and the final lap has begun already. It looks like that the race is going to go into the favor of Reggie. But Alfie and Gemini, they could be onto something as well. If they could fight as well for P4, but we will see if they're gonna stay within that 3 seconds of Noise. Noise is catching up to Coke, but there is almost no laps left, only for Reggie. Turn 13, and on the exit of it, going to turn 14, a bit of a controversial one in my opinion, but without it, Reggie is gonna win here in Zandvoort. Coke P2, Noise in P3 with the fastest lap. Gemini is gonna finish 5th, letting through Alfie through. So Alfie is 4th, Gemini 5th, Mormonic 6th, and who was 7th? I didn't even see who was 7th. But Mormonic, yeah, I'd say Mormonic. Well, that's what. It's either Mormonic or Reggie. I mean, Reggie, who was on the first laps, very much at the back. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have any emotions right now. I'm not that excited because, like, just restart the race normally, man. In my opinion, there is no need to make such gaps on the safety car restarts. there is no such reason to do such safety car restarts that for example Reggie's gonna be like 1 second already, like that Reggie is like 5 car lengths out of Shaza even long before Reggie is gonna restart the race. Well, Hudson in 7th, George in 8th, and Shaza 9th. I don't know. I just drive normally, and then like on the restart, just do then that parking or something. But then as well, what noise did to Shaza, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have no comment on this race. I mean, the first part of the race was pretty exciting before all of this safety car thing happened. That and there's gonna be obviously a big whole lot of controversy in the chat. Yeah, now there's a whole lot of controversy on Reggie and Shaza. Well, anyways, I'm not gonna comment on these things. I'm just gonna go. See ya.